I'm just a boy from Kansas out to save the world from chronic disease. And I truly mean that. Nobody is in control of your health but you. I can't heal you. Your doctor can't heal you. You have to heal you. And it's all about having the education and empowerment to know what you need to be changing within yourself, within your life, to set your soul free and accomplish that best life that we all like to talk about. And I truly believe that the greatest medicine of all is to teach people how not to need it. I'm Brendan Vermeyer, the original Holistic Savage. Welcome to the Holistic Savage podcast. Well, awesome. So, Dr. Willcole, thank you so much for joining me on the Holistic Savage podcast. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm really excited to have you on. So, kind of an intro to the Holistic Savage podcast. You know, I'm just a boy from Kansas out to save the world from chronic disease. And I truly believe the greatest medicine of all is teach people how not to need it. And that's where, with the podcast, that's the mission, you know, and it's really a privilege being connected to so many influential experts in the industry, and we're all in alignment with our missions of we're really trying to do some good in the world and get ahead of this chronic disease epidemic. And it's the next wave of healthcare. And as you know, your business line with the next generation of natural healthcare and the future of natural healthcare, that's where everything's going. So, you know, I'm really honored to have you on today and talk about everything that you're doing in your world to contribute to what is our aligned, you know, greater mission. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to right now. I know you just released a book.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I first of all, I think that your mission is so powerful. It's so much needed. You know, we can look at the world around us and see like there's such a vast need for people. You know, a vast need for answers, a vast need for people to be listened to, and a vast need for people to get healthy. So for sure. Yeah. I mean, my day job is functional medicine, right? It's, I consult people around the world via our virtual clinic. And that's my like 9 to 6 p.m. Grind of love, of really giving people a lot of time and thoughtfulness to what they're going through. But somehow, and the off hours, I write books and speak about it too. So this is my second book is The Inflammation Spectrum. My first book was Ketotarian, which is a mostly plant-based ketogenic book. And my follow-up is a deep dive into this concept that I touched upon in Ketotarian, this concept of the inflammation spectrum, where as a functional medicine practitioner, I see this every hour, is various degrees or manifestations or just different components of inflammation in people's lives. So it's a deep dive into this concept, kind of a functional medicine perspective on this, and tools to overcome it and improve their wellness. So I'm really excited for people to check it out. And it's been a labor of love for sure, because it's hard to encapsulate like all the clinical stuff in a book form, right? There's so many variabilities, but we did a great job with it. And it starts with this quiz where people can find out where they're at on the inflammation spectrum. And the quiz is what took me, one of the hardest parts of the book was the quiz, because it's adapting things that I talk to patients about during a consultation, but to make it make sense to the layperson in a book form was the tough part. So we mastered it, we got it down, and I'm excited for people to check out the book.
So, with this book, can't wait to read it. Give us a little synopsis on, you know, kind of how you break it down and how this book progresses.
Yeah. So the book starts off with educating people on the inflammation spectrum and how the way that I understand, I mean, it's a concept that I made up, but basically the way that I see it in my clinic are 7 main sections on the inflammation spectrum. And it's, you know, gut, brain, hormones, blood sugar, detoxification, musculoskeletal. And then we talk about the 8th section is polyinflammation, the interconnectedness of the different spokes on that spectrum. So I wanted to inform people the the far-reaching implications of chronic inflammation and how people may think of inflammation. The layperson may think, okay, well, if I have tight muscles or joints, if I have like soreness, that's inflammation. Well, that's true, but it's so much more than that.
The lifestyle is kind of going to be, the lifestyle and environment is really that foundation. And so I like how with your teaching here, it's not about like you just need to do this functional medicine protocol for 3 months, and then all of your autoimmunity or whatever that took years to progress is going to go away. And that's kind of one of the big things is all functional medicine practitioners, they really need to be setting the expectation up front, because I think functional medicine is an easy thing to sell. It's a very easy of like, oh, we're going to get to the root cause by running some testing, and we just kind of bloop, we throw a dart at the root cause, and then all of your problems go away. It's like, but any real practitioner knows that's not it at all. It's not a protocol, it's a lifestyle. We have to change the lifestyle and the environment. The protocol is just to kind of expedite some key targeted therapeutic interventions.
Yeah.
And that's what you're setting them up for with your book.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, there has to be a transition between protocol and lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that transition has to happen. And if it doesn't happen, you are going to probably just add to your pile of things you've tried and maybe worked for a time. And then what? So that segue between protocol and lifestyle has to happen. And it's cool to see that happen, to see that click in someone's mind. It's not just, oh, because this doctor is telling me to do it. It's them owning it for themselves as seeing like, I have agency over my biochemistry.
Yeah.
And that shift is really cool, because then at that point, it's on autopilot. They feel better, which encourages them to keep going. And they have a rhythm and an intuition that they know what works for their body and what doesn't. So that's actually the last couple chapters of the inflammation spectrum talks about that very same thing that you brought up. It's this transition of owning your life and really realizing what works for your body, what doesn't. Because at that point, it's not punitive, it's not dogmatic, it's not over, generalized, broad sweeping, good advice. It is just like you, as the manager of your body, what you deciding for yourself what's worth it and what's not. You deciding for yourself how you're going to live your life. But people even have to get to the point where they have clarity and discernment to even know what works for their body and what doesn't. But once they get that, then at that point they can make the decision what they want to. But they have to start feeling better. They have to get the information for them to have that decision to make. So it's really important, because at that point we are in many ways as functional medicine practitioners obsolete, but that shows we've done our job. We're obsolete for that person because we got them healthier.
Right.
And maybe they come in twice a year or something like that to get labs tested or to have some accountability and structure, because some people like that. But oftentimes we do our job. It's actually a good thing that patients get to the place of independence and freedom to know what works for their body and just need little checkups here and there.
Exactly. Well, and that's where you're doing exactly this. It's race medicine balls, teach people how not to need it. And, that's kind of the same thing is we've got to be, it's almost like we have to build the tribe of self-healers. That's kind of its own movement of self-healing these days. And it has to be, because that's the only way forward that I can really see based on, the current landscape that is our crazy existential reality. So